With it now being officially the offseason from the New York Giants, man, before we start diving into free agents, before we start diving into who's going to be drafting this upcoming draft, it's only best if we grade our rookies from this past season, man. Deontay Banks, John Michael Schmitz, Jalen Hyatt. But let's not waste no time. Let's just dive straight into it. The first rookie we're going to be grading is Deontay Banks. Deontay Banks was taken in the first round coming out of Maryland. He had a big task at hand stepping in and being one of the starting cornerbacks from the New York Giants, starting alongside Adoree Jackson. And in his rookie year, he faced a lot of top tier talent. You've seen it in Wink Martindale's schemes. You have to play man. You got to be able to lock up a receiver and play man with them. Play in and play out. And you saw him line up against guys like DK Metcalf and Garrett Wilson, top receivers in this league. They felt confident enough to put Deontay Banks on those guys. And Deontay Banks held his own. If you're going to ask me what would I grade Deontay Banks on this past season, his rookie season, I would give him a B. I'm just going to be honest. I'm going to give him a B. It's not perfect. It's not an A. And now, did he play bad? I wouldn't say he played bad at all. Deontay Banks actually showed a lot of flashes this past season. Early on, there was struggles reported in camp, heading out of trading camp, going into the season. We saw guys like maybe Trey Hawkins could have been better than Deontay Banks. Man, that was an overshot. But Banks stepped in and he held his own. I would say he held his own. There's some games that, the stats don't really show it. Like opposing receivers posted over 100 yards a couple of different times. I felt like Garrett Wilson, that matchup with Garrett Wilson was pretty good. And then towards the end of the game, man, they got Garrett Wilson going and he ended up almost having 100 yards, or I think over 100 yards in that game. So you can't look at it per se on a yards basis, but I will say Deontay Banks was striving for strive with some of these guys and showing that he's going to be able to battle and fight. Cornerback outside of the quarterback position, I think cornerback is the hardest position to play because the defense is already set back with all the calls that are going to be made for the offense. As you know, DPI is very easily called. Holding is very easily called. So for Deontay Banks to step into his rookie season and once again be able to not get killed by any of those guys, because these guys are killers. Garrett Wilson, DK Metcalf, you going down the list, Terry McLaurin, these guys take the top off of defense all the time, and it's really, really hard for a cornerback to shut those things down. One of his best games did happen in a Washington game against Terry McLaurin. He kept him in check for the most part. Now, you have to remember, he's not guarding him every single play, so every single catch that they made isn't always on him. But I will say he had an interception in one of those games. He showed out. He showed out in those Washington games, and he showed out all season. One of the plays that comes to my mind is that play against the Green Bay Packers where he swatted the ball away, which would have been a touchdown if the receiver caught it. Deontay Banks made a lot of plays last season. He finished the season with 2 interceptions, around 60 tackles total. And from the cornerback position, just being able to be physical and make sure you're tackling on the outside of that part, because when a running back sweeps out there, we need cornerbacks that can tackle. Deontay Banks was able to, make some tackles last season. So overall, I would give him a B. And now, once again, what would require an A for me? I think if he's defensive rookie of the year or even in contention for that, that's an easy A. Sadly, he wasn't. Now, some people are going to say maybe they wish that Deontay Banks was. Maybe he should have been. When you have other guys up there like Will Anderson Jr., you have got other guys like Witherspoon who completely took over a game like he took over against the Giants. You need a game like that for Deontay Banks to really put his name on the map. You didn't get to really see that, but I do think next year he's going to be even better. There's no reason for me not to think so. Once again, corner is a tough position to play. The light behind me is not just working for me. But as you continue to grow in this league, man, you continue to get better and better, and you're going to see a year 2 step with Deontay Banks. I feel it, and especially, newsflash, I don't think Adoree's going to be back next season. I definitely think that Deontay Banks is going to be the CB1 for the Giants, and he's going to be a good one. So I'm going to give Deontay Banks a B. John Michael Schmitz taken in the second round, coming in as a starting center. And he started every single game that he played. He did miss a couple of games due to some injuries. The Giants attempting to do a tush push got this man hurt. But overall, I'm going to give John Michael Schmitz a B-. So I don't think he played as well as Deontay Banks did coming in and, stepping in and playing well. He did give up around 5 sacks this past season, but this is an offensive line that gave up the second most sacks in NFL history. He did play better than a couple of the past centers that we've seen on this Giants team the past couple of years. John Michael Schmitz did come in, and he played well. He wasn't a young player coming out of college. He definitely was a more polished center coming into the league, and, I think he held his own. Some matchups did give him struggles. I guarantee in training camp and in practice, John Michael Schmitz going up against Dexter Lawrence is only going to make him better and only made him better. Part of the downsides with it, once again, Bobby Johnson being the offensive line coach, I don't think that helped his case at all. You've seen it with other guys on this offensive line. No one's really developing. We look at Josh Azudu, we look at Evan Neal, and now John Michael Schmitz. So I don't necessarily blame JMS for it, but I think the future is bright for him. Hopefully he could just get a little better when it comes to pass blocking. I think that's definitely where you see the downside. Run blocking, I think he's pretty well. He's very agile, and you see him pull occasionally. But I do want to see John Michael Schmitz just continue to be the leader of the offensive line. We know Andrew Thomas is the most talented, but if you're the center, you're the one that's calling out the protections. You're really the head of the offensive line, literally. So hopefully see more, continuation from John Michael Schmitz next season. I give him a B-. One of the bigger names coming out of this draft was Jalen Hyatt, and we took him in the 3rd round, traded up to go get him to make sure we do go get him. And Jalen Hyatt, man, he showed flashes. If there's anyone I'm really excited for coming out of this past draft and coming out of this first rookie season, Jalen Hyatt's explosiveness should be used a lot more. Last season, you know what it was when you had Tommy DeVito, Daniel Jones, and Tyrod Taylor. It's hard to build a rapport with all 3 of those guys, especially when it's a rotating door. But Jalen Hyatt did take the top off of the defense multiple times, and you've seen it. You just have to target this man. There's some games that he didn't even get 1 target, and it just leaves you head scratching. We at least have to try at least 3 go balls in a game. At least. Because he's making plays. Week 1, everything fell apart. But week 2, he posted up 2 catches for 89 yards. 2 catches for 89 yards. This guy is averaging around 16.5 yards per reception. Now, you don't see the receptions up there because we didn't target him that much. And I will also say, when it comes to Jalen Hyatt, you've seen a couple of drops happen. That's something I really don't want to see. But you've seen him drop the ball a couple different times. And, receivers in this league do drop the ball here and there, but we can't have that. Especially with how behind we are when it comes to certain plays. We definitely can't have guys dropping it now. But Jalen Hyatt, if I was to grade him, I would give him a C. Now, a C is average. A C is passing, but it is average. I just feel like he needed more opportunities. And it's hard to say that against him. But once again, he really didn't show that he can run anything else but a go route. He really didn't. There's a couple times where you've seen him run a 5-yard hitch, or, plays that come to mind, like the play against the Patriots when he ran a crosser and juked the defender out. There just wasn't too many plays where it happened like that. I did see them try to get him the ball in a screen play, and they just didn't block it well for him. But overall, I just want to see Jalen Hyatt get the ball more in his hands this upcoming season. And who knows? I don't know if Darius Slayton is going to be here next year. He should be. He's our top receiver. But, as long as you have guys in front of Jalen Hyatt, that's the less opportunities he's going to get. But at least, once again, 3 go balls per game. At least. This guy was able to pull it down, able to get a step on a lot of people. If there was anything that you were going to bank on with Jalen Hyatt, was his speed, and he showed it. He showed it all year, and defenses have to take an account for that. So I think next season you're going to see them, feature him a lot more. And once again, he showed flashes, and I think he can continue to pile onto that. No touchdowns, unfortunately, but I do think there's more to come. These next couple rookies, I'm going to just be speeding past. Eric Gray, once again, didn't see too many opportunities. And now I feel like the Giants coaching staff and Joe Schoen altogether kind of planned it out for Eric Gray wrong. We know we had Matt Breida and we had Saquon in front of him. They kept Eric Gray and then used him as a punt returner. And you've seen a couple of different muff punts. He misgauged it a couple times. That's not what he's here for. He was here to spell Saquon Barkley, and with Matt Breida in front of him, it was hard to do that. Next season, you'll probably see it a lot more. Is Saquon Barkley going to be back? That's the question that's going to be looming for a while. But Eric Gray is going to be on this team, and I'm excited to see him. There was one game I remember that he had a little more run than usual, and Eric Gray, I feel like he stepped up well. He can make a couple guys miss. He's not going to have the Saquon, home run threat that he has, but Eric Gray is a little shifty, and I like how he runs. He runs well. So, if I'm going to grade Eric Gray, it's going to be a C as well. Trey Hawkins, I have to give him a D, man. This is going to be the first D of the list. I know he's a rookie, but we threw him out there because we felt confident in him after that training camp. And, with the Dory out or he had an injury here and there, Trey Hawkins was stepping up, and he just didn't play well. He just struggles when the ball is getting thrown at the receiver, and he struggles to contest the catch, let alone defend the catch overall. There was a couple plays where he was tight in coverage, but they still caught the ball. I got to give Trey Hawkins a D. I think with the expectations, it kind of just boosted him up. But then again, remember, this guy is a 6th-round pick. Jordan Riley should get more run. I wouldn't give him a B. I would actually give him a B because I feel like he didn't have that many opportunities this past season. Taken in the 7th round, Jordan Riley definitely did step up, especially after Leonard Williams got traded away. He should get more run this upcoming season because he made some plays. He had a couple different tackles for loss. I'm going to give him a B, especially considering, where he was taken and, he was on the out. he was out of it, getting, healthy scratches because they just couldn't find a spot for him. So shout out to Jordan Riley. He gets a B. And Gervais Owens, he was hurt a bit. He did play special teams. I got to give him a C. He just didn't, show out to me. But nevertheless, probably still more opportunities for the guys to come. Y'all let me know down below, man. What's your grades for this rookie class? It could be the first three, Deontay Banks, John Michael Schmitz, and Jalen Hyatt. Give me those grades. Let me know down below. Am I tripping for any of my grades? Y'all let me know, man. Comment down below your thoughts and also subscribe. Road to 10K still active, man. Like the video. We're pushing this content out there. And I will catch you on the next one, man. Peace.